All right, today we're going to break down a short story with a really powerful idea at its core, the day that wouldn't disappear. Seriously, it takes this one huge what if and just runs with it, building a whole world that asks some pretty deep questions about memory and, well, love. So let's just dive right in. I mean, just imagine that for a second. Every single day, you wake up, and yesterday is just gone. The people you met, the things you laughed at, the stuff that made you sad, all of it, just wiped clean when a bell rings. That is the wild and honestly kind of terrifying idea that this whole story is built on. So first things first, let's get a handle on the rules of this world. It's a city built on one single unbreakable foundation. Everybody forgets. They call it the reset. Every evening, a bell chimes, and just like that, the last 24 hours are erased. But here's the twist. This isn't seen as some horrible curse. It's a feature. It's how they keep society orderly and safe. You can't hold a grudge if you can't remember why you were mad, right? It's a clean slate every single day. So you've got this perfectly ordered system, right? But what happens when someone starts to notice the cracks? This is where we meet our main character, Elian. He's a clockmaker, which is perfect because he's more in tune with time than anyone else. And for Elian, this is where it all begins. He doesn't just hear the clocks tick. He feels the rhythm of the day. And one morning, that rhythm is just off. I love this line. Time was trying too hard to behave. It tells you everything you need to know. He's the one person who can feel the system starting to strain. And pretty soon, it's not just a feeling anymore. He starts finding actual proof. A note in his own handwriting that he has no memory of writing, a tiny, deliberate scratch on one of his pendulums, and then this powerful message in his journal. It's like he's leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for himself, proving that some part of him is surviving that nightly wipe. You know that last clue? You are not alone? Well, it turns out to be more than just a hopeful thought. It is the literal truth. Someone else is remembering too. And then she walks into his shop, Neva, and she asks this question. Now, in our world, that's a pretty normal thing to say. But in the city that forgets, asking, "Do I know you?" is basically an act of rebellion. It hints at a past that's not supposed to exist. Now, what's really cool is how they remember, because they're complete opposites. Elian is the logical one, the engineer. His memories need physical proof, notes, scratches, things he can touch. Neva, though, she remembers with her heart. It's all intuition, dreams, a feeling of connection that she can't logically explain. It's the head and the heart working together. So they start to fight back. They create their own little system to hold on to these forbidden memories. They even give them a name, a slip. They track them, looking for patterns. Neva starts leaving these chalk messages, knowing they'll be erased, which is just this amazing act of faith. And Elian, being a clockmaker, does what he does best. He builds a machine. He calls it the catcher. And it's not meant to stop the reset, but to try and measure the very shape of a memory. But, you can't keep a secret this big forever. As their shared world gets stronger, the system that was built to prevent this kind of thing, well, it starts to notice. You can't have two people remembering in a city built entirely on forgetting. The city record keeper, basically the enforcer of the reset, shows up. And he doesn't say, "Hey, you two are remembering things." No, he hits them with this cold, sterile, bureaucratic phrase. It's brilliant because it turns their beautiful human connection into a technical problem, a bug in the system. And yep, there is a law against it. Ordinance 7. All of a sudden, their personal journey isn't just a miracle. it's a crime. This isn't just a glitch anymore. It's a full-blown felony. And the threat he leaves them with, it's absolutely chilling. The punishment for remembering again isn't just another memory wipe. It's complete erasure from existence. The stakes just went from losing a day to losing everything. So the system tries to correct this error, right? It tries to clamp down on them, but in doing so, it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Instead of fixing the reset, it shatters it completely. And this is where the story completely flips the script. The real horror wasn't the emptiness of forgetting. No, the true nightmare was the overwhelming, crushing chaos of remembering everything all at once. Every lost conversation, every forgotten birthday, every single day flooding back into people's minds simultaneously. The entire city just comes apart at the seams. People are screaming in the streets, totally assaulted by their own forgotten histories. It's not that time is breaking, it's that time is putting itself back together, violently. And this brings it down to such a personal, terrifying level. For Elian, it's a psychic assault. He's feeling every single version of himself he's ever been. The kid, the teenager, the man from yesterday, all screaming inside his head at the same time. It's an agony that's about to shatter his mind. And in that moment of complete collapse, with everything about to break, Aaliyah makes a choice. It's pure instinct. To save Neva, to save himself, he reaches into his machine, the catcher, and pulls out this one mysterious part that seems to be amplifying the chaos, the mirror gear. And that one simple, desperate action, it doesn't fix the city. It doesn't save the world. It does something way more interesting. It creates a beautiful, tiny exception to the rule. The chaos just stops. The city snaps back to its normal forgetting self, and Neva looks at Elian, her memory of the facts gone again, and she says this. It's so powerful. The names, the data, that's all gone. But the feeling, the deep emotional truth of their connection, that survived. It's stronger than the reset. So this is the new normal. The city goes right back to forgetting. That record keeper who threatened them, he forgets he was ever even there. The system literally erases its own mourning. But for Elian and Neva, their world has changed forever. In that final chaotic moment, the catcher did its job. It shielded their two minds, tying them together just outside the system's reach. They didn't break the system, they just found a loophole. And in the end, it wasn't a machine that saved them. It wasn't a big fight. It was just two people who refused to let go of each other. Their shared memory became a real, tangible thing that couldn't be broken. And that's what it leaves you with, right? This amazing final question. In a world that's designed from the ground up to erase the past, the story suggests that a real connection between two people can create its own history, its own timeline that is totally immune to the rules that govern everyone else. What an incredible idea to think about.